most people aren't really catching on to what true manipulation is. So I'm going to help you. This is why people run into the same problems in every relationship. This is why it feels like everyone they were ever with was against them. And they just feel like they've just been this battered and abused victim their whole life. It's because true manipulators, they're not using certain techniques that most people are even aware of. The first one is the power of suggestion. This ties into verbally contesting things that aren't you or believed to be you. But this is how the power of suggestion begins. Someone says to you, "Oh wow, you look frail. You look like you're losing weight. You look sickly." So in that, if you don't agree with that shit, then you have to verbally contest it. You have to say, "I don't believe in that. I don't believe I look sickly." Because once again, your subconscious can grab a hold of these things and run with it, this power of suggestion. And it creates stress and worry within the mind. You know, when someone says, "Oh, you look weak. You look pale. When my uncle looked like that, he had cancer and he died." These are things the subconscious will start to brew on a suggestion if you don't verbally contest these things. You have to say, "No, I am not dying anytime soon. I am strong and healthy, and I don't need you standing there judging me." Because the power of suggestion comes from the power of the word. Our words are powerful. So the more power of suggestion that goes uncontested, that's your acceptance of these things as the possibility of I am. And if you can get enough power of suggestion at an individual without their realization of this, you can then move on to bigger and better things called the power of persuasion. Now someone has the power to persuade an individual because they have the suggestions to lower esteem or to raise it, because you can build and destroy with just the power of suggestion. And the lack of contesting or going with. You know, if someone says you're great, you're like, it's okay to say, "I am great." You know, if someone's impressed by you, be happy that you were able to pull off impressing someone else just as much as if you were impressing yourself. So, without contesting or rolling with, you're allowing the power of suggestion to roll into the power of persuasion. So this is where you can start to persuade an individual to change values and change viewpoints on something that they previously felt on the other side of the coin about. And they don't understand, how, they don't get it. But that's the power of persuasion. Now, if you build up enough power of persuasion, now you are in a true manipulation of another individual. And that manipulation is how people end up being some people's Pinocchio on some strings, just dancing for someone else's tune. You must stand strong and have conviction in your own tune. You must have drive in your presence and what you're doing. And you must have intent on all your actions. Don't be suggested on. Don't be persuaded on. Do not be manipulated. Avoid it. You can. And I promise you're good enough to start to figure it out now that someone explained to you the power of suggestion, the lack of contesting a suggestion that you don't believe, and how that leads to the power of persuasion, which then becomes manipulation. Think about it.